this really is, this is a thought process we need to just be mindful of, is that it's an environment of honesty, openness, and the desire to pursue excellence without the fear of exposing lack of competency. So if we put more priority on them pursuing excellence, it's going to be far more easier for them to be happy to grow and this to improve. But if we're so focused on lack of competency, okay, we need to get better at this, we need to get better at that, we're missing the whole point of what will cause them to get better, i.e. them driving excellent and being engaged in the session, being able to self-evaluate, take ownership of things. So this is really critical to the type of environment we want to develop. And I can see it, and I'm sure you can if you're consciously sitting back and you're not the coach going into a session. You can see those sessions where players are engaged, players are part of the learning journey, they want to get better, they're working things out, and the coach has got a really good relationship. When you see players that nod a lot and don't say much apart from the other one or two, and just say, and coach is doing lots of talking, I don't see that as the type of environment that's going to maximise growth. I see that as the type of environment where coach is in charge of the environment, who's getting kind of results, but he's getting that in the short term, just because players do what he wants them to do. That's not really what we want to be driving for. The whole philosophy is actually, again, making ourselves redundant and developing that type of behaviour. Which, remember, these type of behaviours aren't just about basketball right now. They will take, the young children at school will take into schools, the adults will take into their working life and relationships. I went into a school in London, applied this with the teachers and mentoring, and it was a quite mixed school. It had good academics, and we had children that were, it was multicultural, that were still already starting to link up with the local drug dealer outside the school. A lot of disruptive kids, a lot of disengaged kids. Unfortunately, the teachers were so focused on the disruptive children, the disengaged children were politely getting away with murder, because they were just politely doing nothing, because all the energy was here. And it was just about changing the environment and the process. And within 2 weeks, we shifted the behaviour of some of the most disruptive children to allow the teacher to start focusing on the more disengaged. And the engagement went through the roof. And it was purely just following these type principles. And that was not people that wanted to be there. That was the same teachers, same school children, just shifting the way we were communicating and getting them to understand the value of what they were doing and what it looked like, so they could start owning it. And that was really critical.
Mark, can I ask a question on this just now?
Yes.
Just thinking about when you're talking about putting in non-negotiables, how many of those things typically have you expect a coach to put in a program?
It's normally, it's normally a maximum of like 3.
Oh, okay.
Because what we find is that there's some big important ones that will drive so many. So you see all the list on here. Common ones are, obviously communication's a common one. Pursuing excellence or committing 100% to choices is a common other. When you start doing these things, and following the rule of 3 is another one that a lot of people buy in, which we'll talk about later. It covers so many of these. What we don't want to do is have so many where we can't keep it alive, we can't live it anyway. It just becomes words again. So yeah, normally, sometimes 1, but 1 to 3 normally. And they are the big ones that have the biggest impact that change. So question for you now is, I'm just going to give you a minute on your tables, 1 minute, just to see where you are now in the reflection of so far, where we are and what's come out of it for you. And then I'm just going to point to individuals, apologise I don't know the names yet, to ask for your reflection, and then for the table's reflection. So 1 minute now, please.
Quite a lot of research on that.
The positive.
Yeah, it's positive. Yeah, because people, if you build on your strengths, actually your weaknesses comes up automatically. So if you prove your strengths, drags it up. I've been some research on that. So that's quite interesting because you always think you work on your things you're not so good at.
It's almost like in teams playing against better teams, it really brings out more out of you, and you play better as well. You lift your games.
I think just consistency of behaviour both from the coach and from the athlete.
Actually, that's
Probably the coach. You know, the coach is a big issue. I think we get dragged into habits, which may not be the
And that's our minute up.
I like that.
Flies, isn't it, when we're having fun. So I'm going to start with this table first, please, and we're going to go for. Sorry, what's your name?
Paul. Well, obviously I've gone through this myself. I mean, I've looked at myself as a in a hole, and I know I need to change a lot of my coaching techniques that I've done. A big one for me is I've got a habit of getting brought into the game far too easily. When my players tend to kind of lose the confidence, lose their ability in the game, if their self-belief, if you want, I tend to drag myself in and lose my focus. So I know that I need to kind of curtail my behaviour in the way that and again it goes back to what you were sitting saying here, the trigger work, etc. I know that's something I'm going to take away from here and obviously utilise that straight away in training sessions.
Overall, what was from the table? What did you get from the table?
We were talking about the coaches being more of a redundant aspect. A lot of the focus on letting the players develop and obviously explore their own avenues. Sorry, I'm just reading off
No, it's positiveness
and the positiveness from obviously the players and obviously the way they kind of take things on. So
okay, lovely. I'm going to go to this table now. What's your name?
I think the thing that's kind of came out for me this morning is that almost that commitment, but the commitment with you and the player, or the athlete, or the team, or whatever's in there, and kind of taking them on. So we've all done those sessions. You say that it's been, you know, everything's clicked, and there's lots of chat, and it's actually what next week it's like, oh, what's that kind of missing ingredient? So I think kind of keeping that up and having that either non-negotiable or whatever it's in there in order to create that atmosphere.
From the table, what did you pick up?
It was saying we were talking a little bit about that within chat, within sessions, and how to create that and how, you know, how do you take the players with you?
Yes.
So that actually it's not just coach driven.
Yeah. Which we'll go into just before lunch. Lovely. This table, what's your name?
So for me, one of the practical things similar to Paul was that sort of idea of rechecking whether the assistant coach or assistant player on those non-negotiables something practical. That I think certainly with my system had a big impact. In terms of the table, we chatted a lot about, although it's really obvious, the behaviours before performance and just how do we actually implement that.
Yeah, that's the biggest challenge. A lot of people talk about this, but how do you actually do it? It's the missing link a lot of times. Okay, lovely. What's your name?
Jake.
Jake?
Well, I was talking about saying that I think it's step in too much. So like the big phrase that I use a lot is like something that's gone really well, and then the thing that you said was, why is it not working in the game? You've just done it in training last week, or and my players have even like called themselves out on it, saying like, guys, come on, we did it last week, it worked perfectly. How can we stop doing this time? And at the table we spoke about pulling people up negatively too much, saying that in our sessions we don't have that much time with these kids. So we're trying just to constantly, we're just focusing on negative if it gets perfect, but we're kind of forgetting about all the positives and just thinking they know that they've done it right. So you have to kind of keep hammering home that you've done that really well.
Well, getting them to say they have is the key point, not us telling them. That's the big shift. We want their awareness, not ours. We've already got awareness. So that's the mindset shift straight away then. Okay, lovely. So I've got a little bit more, then I'm going to get into the tools I'd like you to have a go with after lunch. So just some basic fundamentals, but these never change. So even when working with advanced coaches at the highest level of professional sport, this never changes. These are the things that we put in first, and then there's the other stuff afterwards. So we call with that, aren't we? There must be perceived value, i.e. everyone needs to see the value of it. They don't have to like it, but they have to see the value of it. So there's no way you can change unless you share with the athletes why we're changing and what's the value of the change within you and with them and what that looks like, and then agree it. And then again, being patient and consistent, being that relentless of saying, okay, we might get it straight away, we might not, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to keep going, and I'm just going to be patient with it, but I'm going to be relentless. This is going to be every time now. So don't expect magic to happen. If it does, great, it's a bonus. And expect it to regress if we allow it to regress. But we don't get emotionally led if it does. We manage our state and we're effective in how we keep it alive. And that's where that human support comes in. And we need that as coaches as well, because this type of coaching, unlike a lot of people that think it's more tree hugging, is the toughest type of coaching. This is really tough. It's not just tough for us, It's far tougher for our athletes because they have to think more, they have to work things out more. They cannot daydream through a session. It's impossible. Whereas in traditional coaching, they could, and the smart ones often do. So this is tough for everybody right now, but it's effective. It's what coaching should be when we're driving excellence, to link it to performance and outcomes. Back to behaviours first. So this is what we really need to do. Now, I'm not suggesting we can do that today because I just want you to apply some tools to see how impactful they are, but certainly with your team this is exactly what you need to do. And after lunch, when we've come back in after you've had the session, I'm going to go through a real applicational step-by-step process that if you do this is going to make it really easy for you. And this is a generalisation of it. So what we've got to do is we've got to agree, coach agrees strategies, roles, responsibilities, parameters, agree what's acceptable and unacceptable, and if there's an exceptional within you. That's a conversation with the athletes, by the way. This is not you telling them. Athletes agree theirs, and again, you can challenge them, but make sure whatever we agree, we're going to be living by. It's not just something that we're going to have in here and then forget about it. Then we get that binding clarity, synergy with both, and then here's the big one: we've got to live it. So anything we're prepared to say in here, we've got to say this is going to be in every time. Think of it as, if any of you, I'm not saying you do because you're awesome ninjas anyway, but if any of you at New Year's resolution went, right, my aim is to sort my nutrition out and either get buff or lose weight or become healthier or deal with cholesterol, whatever it might be, and then what you do, and you've probably seen friends do this as well, is they go hyper strict and they go crazy. They go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes 6, 7. They start eating lettuce and nothing much else, following some fad diet that's come out, and they stick with it for how long?
10 minutes.
Weeks, maybe the odd month. Then what happens? Revert back and even do a bit of a binge craziness even more. Why? Because